Mr. Ambassador, welcome to Rudaw.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming over and interviewing me. And it's a great opportunity for me to talk to Kurdistan TV, and my message will go to people in Kurdistan.
Thank you very much. There is an upcoming visit for the Iraqi Prime Minister, Mr. Mustafa al-Kadhimi, to Pakistan. When will be that visit, and what's the agenda?
I cannot exactly tell you the dates, when will it be, but it will be soon. Both sides have agreed on the visit. It was on the invitation of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Imran Khan, and Mr. Mustafa Kazmi has agreed to visit Pakistan. Both sides are working on the date, so it will be finalized very soon, and I'm sure that visit will take place pretty soon.
Soon, like in days, weeks?
I cannot exactly tell you, but hopefully during this month, visit will take place. And we are working on the dates which are suitable to both sides.
What's the agenda?
See, Pakistan and Iraq have been very friendly countries, and this relationship dates back to the Baghdad Pact in the 1950s. So we've had very cordial relationship between the two countries, and this year, due to the exchange of visits between the two countries at highest level, ministerial level, from Pakistan and from Iraq to Pakistan, so this relationship has been boosted, and Prime Minister's visit will, I'm sure, that bring about a more positive change in the relationship. We will be signing a number of memorandum of understanding between the two countries, and they will focus on culture, education, tourism, and economic fields.
Before, there was a visit of the Pakistani War Production Minister to Iraq, and we hosted her in Rudaw TV. So I want to know the conclusions and the results of that visit to Iraq.
I think that visit in January by our Minister for Defense Production was an icebreaker, and after that the Defense Minister of Iraq visited Pakistan. Then we had the Pakistani Foreign Minister coming here, and then the Iraqi Foreign Minister last month went back. So we are negotiating on a number of deals with Iraq, which are under progress in defense field. Pakistan is also giving training to Iraqi cadets in our military academies. And this year, on National Day of Pakistan, on 23rd March, Iraqi paratroopers first time participated in our National Day celebrations. So we have started good collaboration in defense fields, and hopefully during the Prime Minister's visit, some good results will come up.
There have been a lot of discussions about the Iraq defense system and the trade between the two countries. Is there any progress?
Yes, as I told you, we are negotiating on a number of deals with the both countries are negotiating on supply of defense equipment, because Pakistan has good defense production capabilities. So we are negotiating these deals, and hopefully when the Prime Minister goes, something will be finalized.
During this visit, how many agreements or contracts or deals will be signed between the two countries? In which areas? Only defense?
I cannot exactly tell you that how many memorandum of understanding we will sign, but I hope that it will be between 5 to 7 agreements on culture, on trade, on people-to-people contacts. Then we have an agreement between the two chambers of commerce, education field, and hopefully we will sign a memorandum of understanding on zaireen and defense collaboration. So there are a number of agreements. Both the foreign offices are working on these agreements, and as soon as they are finalized, they will be signed.
Okay. Can you tell us about the type of these agreements? If you talk about defense, for example, or about education, about culture, what the both countries will do?
Okay. Let me tell you, for example, education which we were discussing with the Ministry of Education people yesterday. During that, in that MOU, if education cooperation means that Iraqi students can go to Pakistan, they can study there, they will get scholarships. In fact, we are already giving scholarships to Iraqi students in different fields, but due to that MOU, that will increase. Then we have student exchange programs in that memorandum of understanding in education. We also have exchange of teachers, collaboration between the universities. So it is both ways beneficial for Iraqi students, for teachers, for trainers.
There are 2 cement factories and a hotel in Karbala owned by Pakistani companies. In general, how many Pakistani workers and companies working in Iraq?
Yes, we have 2 big cement factories. One is by Lucky Cement in Pakistan, and other is the Atak group. Then we have the Baron Hotel in Karbala, owned by a Pakistani company. We are also in talks with other governorates and Ministry of Tourism. We want to extend our investment in tourism sector here in Iraq, and people are also interested to invest in other fields like water, health facilities. The government of Pakistan has also offered Iraq to repair and reconstruct the power plants which have been damaged. We are ready to help Iraq in those fields also. And other than that, we have also offered, and hopefully after the elections we will talk to Iraqi authorities on this, but this was raised during the visit of Iraqi Foreign Minister to Pakistan. Pakistan's database authority is one of the best in the world. Digitalization of ID cards, passports, and with that digitalization, bank accounts can be operated, telephone SIMs can be with one card you can have all the systems available. This will also help in the banking sector as well. So we have offered that facility, and hopefully after the elections we will discuss more about this. That will also help in the electoral reforms of Iraq. So we are very keen to help Iraq in digitalization.
If we talk about the investment that you're planning to do or the help that you're offering to Iraq, is it only for one part, for some specific cities, or it's general?
These MOUs or contracts are government to government. And then the government decides that where this facility has to be available. But other than that, like in hospitality sector, we have different governorates, and we have offered these services to different governorates as well. For like power plants, some Pakistani companies are ready to come and provide safe, clean drinking water. This could be conversion of sea water into usable water or river water, or setting up a plant. So this could be anywhere in the country. And since it's only a month or so I'm here, I will be traveling to your beautiful land, Kurdistan and Erbil very shortly. And I will discuss all these things with the leadership of Kurdistan as well. And whatever help we can or investment Pakistanis can do, we will be happy to do that there as well.
Are you planning something for Kurdistan, or just going to see and listen to what they have say and then decide what to do?
We have plans. I will go and see the leadership as well. And we have also recommended opening of an honorary consulate in Kurdistan, so that Pakistan can have more access to the facilities available in Kurdistan, and Pakistanis can invest in Kurdistan. At the moment we have around 1,000 to 1,200 Pakistani nationals living in Kurdistan. They are in hospitality sector. Few are in professional categories, in oil sector as well. So they are Pakistanis, and we will try that whatever benefit these Pakistanis can give to Kurdistan, it'll be our player to do that.
As you mentioned, that like in Kurdistan region, there's 2,500 Pakistani families live and work in Kurdistan. So do you plan to open a consulate in Kurdistan region?
Yes, we have proposed honorary consulate first in Kurdistan, and once it is established, then later we will look for a opportunity to open a consulate there.
Okay. If you talk about Iraq and Kurdistan, of course, what sort of cooperation do you seek to build in agriculture between Pakistan and Iraq?
Pakistan is an agricultural country, and we have also offered food supplies to Iraq. Pakistani traders can come and trade with Iraq. Lately, we have offered about 40 scholarships in animal husbandry, in agriculture sector to Iraqi students in Sindh University of Agriculture, and we are ready to help Iraq in whatever way they want our assistance in the agriculture field.
Do you seek to strengthen your relationship with Kurdistan region, especially in trade and agriculture?
Yes, yes, why not? All these things I said that we see as a whole package. It's not for Baghdad or not for Najaf or Karbala, but whole of Iraq. And obviously Kurdistan is included in that.
Specifically, what are you searching for in Kurdistan? Like, do you have any plans?
See, our foremost target at this point is that the trade between Pakistan and Iraq, and including Kurdistan, is very minimal. So we want to establish trade relationship first with Iraq and Kurdistan, and establish more trade links. Other than that, we are ready to help Iraq, as I said, in infrastructure improvement, in agriculture, in health sector. Pakistan has expertise, and we can definitely help Kurdistan and Iraq.
If you talk about elections, what does Pakistan think about the upcoming elections in Iraq?
Elections are coming, they are being held next month, and Pakistan is a democratic country, and we have always supported democracy, and whatever is people's will, we always respect people's will. Whosoever the people of Iraq, the people of Kurdistan will vote, they have the right to form the government.
So do you have supervisors sending or coming from Pakistan to supervise the elections?
Yes, we have. Iraq government has not requested us at the moment for observers, and I think the time is too less for this. But I've heard that observers from United Nations will be there, from EU will be there, and observers from Arab countries will be there to supervise the elections.
Do you plan to send observers from?
At this point, there's no such initiative.
The situation in Iraq, you know, it's very fragile, especially before the elections. Do you think that the time is right to do these elections, and what change will the elections make in Iraq?
See, elections in Iraq are the internal matter of Iraq.
Of course.
And it is people's will, as I have said, to choose. And what we have seen that the Prime Minister, when came and took over, it was his mandate to hold elections, and I think he is, as per his mandate and as per his promise, early elections are being held. And so far what we have seen, that all political forces are involved in this election process. So it is a good sign for Iraq, and it is a chance for the people to come out and vote for elections and choose their representatives.
Tamam. There are a lot of number of Kurds who live in Pakistan from a long time ago. So as Pakistan, even if you talk about some Kurds that took a brilliant role in Pakistan, Benazir Bhutto has Kurdish roots. So I want to know, what does Pakistan think about Kurds and Kurdistan, especially about the issue of them and the solution?
As we were talking before the start of the interview, the Kurdish language also is from Persian, and there are many common words between your language and our language, and the cultural affinity and religious affinity of this region is almost similar. We share many cultural and religious affinities, and people of Kurdistan, as I know, have spread all over the world, and their roots were from Kurdistan. They might be any nationality at this point, but the roots are there, and they have done brilliant work for themselves, for their region, and we have always supported that it's the people who need to decide about their future. Similarly, like Pakistan and India, we have an issue between us, which is the issue of Kashmir, and Pakistan's principal stand is that let the people decide their right of self-determination. Similarly, wherever there is an issue, Pakistan has always supported that it is the will of the people to decide about the future.
If you talk about Kurdistan, it's 4 parts divided on 4 countries. If you talk about this part, South Kurdistan, if you can say Iraqi Kurdistan region. So I want to know, in Pakistan's opinion, what's the best way to solve the problems in Syrian Kurdistan region?
Again, it is for the people to decide.
Of course.
And it is Iraq's sovereignty. And we respect that. And it is Iraqi people, Kurdish people, they have to decide about the future.
Pakistan plays an important role in Afghanistan. So I want to know, how do you see the future of Afghanistan after the return of Taliban?
Pakistan is Afghanistan's neighbor. Pakistan sees that at this point we need to see an inclusive government which has representation of all the parties or all the regions of Afghanistan and the people, and we want peace in Afghanistan. Pakistan shares more than 2,600 kilometers of boundary, and we already have 3 million Afghan refugees. And Afghanistan has suffered a lot in last decades. So we want peace in Afghanistan, and we want peace for the people of Afghanistan and for the region.
How many Afghan refugees do you have in Pakistan?
We have about 3 million Afghan refugees.
And has the number increased, of course, after the return of Taliban?
I cannot exactly say the number has increased or not. We don't have exact figures, but I don't think so. There is so much of influx of refugees at this time.
I think Pakistan was the first country who sent the officials to speak and talk with Taliban now in Afghanistan. So what was the aim of that visit?
Pakistan still has an embassy which is operational in Afghanistan, like other embassies are operational. So we are doing our role. At this point, Pakistan has helped evacuating many of Afghan people and foreign nationals which were there. So the embassy is playing its role, and we are waiting for the formation of the new government. and we will see that what has to be done later.
Okay. While we're speaking right now, there are demonstrations in Kabul against the Pakistani government. They say that they think that the Pakistan had a rule. So I want to take it from you. Did Pakistan had a rule to return for the Taliban to return in Afghanistan?
See, as I've said before, Pakistan respects sovereignty of each country, and Pakistan just wants peace in the region. I do not know about these demonstrations in Afghanistan, but we would like to see a peaceful Afghanistan and a peaceful neighbor.
Okay, why Afghan has this feeling that Pakistan was behind it, or took a part of it? This is my last question.
Any person can have its own opinion, but Pakistan has always supported peace and has always respected sovereignty of each country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed, for this opportunity and this interview.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Can I add one more and you can just fit in?
Yes, of course.
That? I would like to talk about this regional conference which was held last week.
What do you think about what Iraq did in last week, the summit that was held?
I think the last summit, last week, the summit which was held in Baghdad, it was a tremendous opportunity for Iraq to come back to the world scene and play its role as a big power in the region, bringing in countries which have disputes on one table. I think this was one of the best initiatives by the Iraqi government, and I am sure that this summit will go a long way in bringing peace and settling the disputes in the region.
How does it affect on Iraq's future, aside from the peace?
See, Iraq is in center of the region, Arab region, and the initiatives which the government of Iraq has taken to bring in peace in the region, it will also increase Iraq's outlook that Iraq is a peaceful country. Iraq wants good relations with its neighbors and regional countries, and Iraq has a role to play in the international world.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
Thank you.
And thank you so much.